Tonight on Quinnipiac Live. Feel the excitement and energy as we get you ready for the biggest night in college hockey as Quinnipiac hosts Yale. Experiencing a hockey game at the TD Bank Sports Center is like no other. We'll show you how fans of Bobcat Nation get ready for each game. John Leahy will be retiring at the end of this academic year after over 30 years as president. We'll talk with him about his favorite Quinnipiac traditions. All that and so much more on this special edition. Get ready to join the conversation because Quinnipiac Live starts now. Hello and welcome to Quinnipiac Live. I'm your host, Joel Vanner. We're coming live to you this evening from the TD Bank Sports Center on the York Hill campus, and we are just an hour away from the biggest hockey event of the year as Quinnipiac hosts Yale with the bragging rights of Whitney Avenue and the Heroes Hat Cup on the line. Tonight we have an exciting show planned for you. Tonight's show is jam-packed with students, alumni, and John Leahy, who is attending his final Quinnipiac versus Yale hockey game here at the Sports Center as president of Quinnipiac. Throughout tonight's show, we encourage you to join the conversation and tell us where you're watching from. Submit your questions now in the comments section below. Your questions will be answered live on air by our guests as well as by our team of Quinnipiac students and alumni in the Bobcat Social Media Lounge. And be sure to like this live stream to be entered into a drawing for a Bobcat prize pack. One lucky winner will be selected by the end of the show. And I'm joined now by Victoria Tigliano and Sierra Goodwill. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, Victoria and Sierra.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about your student media involvement here at Quinnipiac. Victoria, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, the second I arrived on campus my freshman year, I joined student media. The first week I was already on the show Sports Pause. Q30 was what I really veered towards because I want to do television. And my freshman year, I was an associate producer of Sports Pause. My sophomore year, I was an executive producer of the show, and we actually won Best Television Sportscast from the College Media Association for it, which is pretty cool. And then my first 3 years at Quinnipiac, I was a beat reporter for the men's ice hockey team. So this arena is kind of in my home this semester, and doing that, I got to go to the Frozen Four in Tampa my sophomore year, and I got to go to the ECAC Championship in Lake Placid, and I went to Albany, so I got to go to all these places while covering the team.
Sierra, how about you?
I also joined Q30 since the minute I stepped on campus. It's a huge reason why I chose Quinnipiac in the first place. So freshman year, I was associate producer of Sports Pause, and sophomore year, I was the sports director of the station, where we also won another CMA for Best Sportscast. So that's super exciting. And I'm the beat reporter for the men's and women's basketball teams. So last year I was able to cover the women's basketball team. Exciting run to the Sweet 16. So I traveled to Miami and California and got to see all the craziness that occurred there. And of course, the MAC tournaments in Albany. So it's really been the highlight of my Quinnipiac experience.
Sierra, you and I both went to California for different media organizations,
Yes.
but what is it like being able to travel to cover Quinnipiac athletics?
It's super exciting, and it's an experience I wouldn't have if I didn't, get my foot in the door with student media right away. It gives you a whole nother perspective on the teams when you're traveling with them. You just get to know them better. They get to respect you more as not just like a student, but they treat you almost as a professional, and that relationship just gets better and better the more you travel with them.
Victoria?
And then at the same time, you're also seeing other professionals out there reporting, and you get to see how they do it and what you will be doing when you graduate, and you kind of get to meet the people and swap cards and stuff like that. So not only are you getting a better experience with covering teams and learning your own professionalism, but meeting other professionals as well.
And what did you learn from these experiences? Connecting maybe to your academics or connecting from academics to student media?
Well, I would say first off, I had great professors. One professor in particular, Molly Annity, she's really been a mentor to me. She tells me to send her my stories before I submit them so she can look at them over and give me feedback on them, which has really helped me improve. And then also in the classroom, I know when I stepped into my first journalism class, I was already ahead of students who have never done student media because I had already used a camera and I had already been on air. So I was able to hone in on other skills because I already had the initial ones.
Right, and student media, obviously, as its name implies, is student-run. So it is nice to have that support from your professors who really respect the students who are committed to student media, because not only are you doing all your homework and everything they assign you, but you're also getting involved on your own. So they're willing to go an extra mile to help you out because they see that you care about what you're doing. So that's been great, and our classes just teach us the basics of how to put together a good package, or how to write a good story, and then Q30 or all the other student media organizations allow you to put that to use in the ways that you want. You can cover the stories you want, and you can do it as frequently as you want.
So how have your experiences in student media, covering the teams, traveling, help advance your professional career?
Well, I can say personally that student media is the reason why I got any of my internships. I was lucky enough to intern with WCVB in Boston, and then out in LA with Fox Sports West, and then at the Golf Channel in Orlando. And student media is the reason why I got all those, and also the reason why I was able to do more at them. For example, at Fox Sports West, I was able to go out on a shoot and be the sole producer of the package and tell the reporter what to do, tell the photographer what I wanted filmed, and then go back and edit it all. And I was able to do all that because my producer saw when I got in that I already knew how to do this stuff, and I knew how to do it because of student media.
Sierra?
Yeah, with my internships, I interned at WPRI in Providence over the summer, and I'm currently interning at WTNH Channel 8 in New Haven. And the same thing is, when they interviewed me, the first questions they ask is about your experience with student media. How did you get sports director as a sophomore? What are you doing there? And then when you tell them, it's super impressive to them because not a lot of other schools allow you to do so much so early on in your college experience. So when I was at WPRI, I was at Patriots training camp every day, filming stand-ups for the reporters, getting locker room sound at a professional NFL team, obviously, and then at WTNH, they allow me to go shoot Friday Night Lights and write and edit their scripts and put together stuff that other interns might not be able to do or get to do because they haven't done it at school. Whereas for us, internships are a chance to, kind of use those skills we've learned at Quinnipiac, whereas for other internships, they're really learning during other students, they're really learning during their internships. So we, I think, get a lot more out of our internships because we're able to put to use the skills that we've learned.
So all of this involvement, we're talking all about student media, and I think we might have said it before, but is student media the reason why you chose Quinnipiac? Were there other factors involved?
Well, I know when I came to campus, there were two things that really got me, and they're both pretty simple. First off, I got to the Ed McMahon Center and I saw the studio for when students are on the television shows and stuff like that. And I thought, oh my God, like this, I've never seen anything like this before, and it's so amazing looking. And then I came up to York Hill and I got to see this beautiful ice rink, and I was sold. Reporting on hockey is what I've always wanted to do, and reporting in general is what I've always wanted to do, and those two things got me.
So my experience to coming to Quinnipiac is a little different. I was sold on another school before even coming here. My mom was like, oh, you should just go check out Quinnipiac, it's right in our backyard. And the moment I stepped on campus, I was sold. I said, I want to come here. The campus was beautiful, it was everything I wanted. And then I saw student media and I was able to talk to the students currently in student media, and it was just like such a welcoming place. I was like astounded by all that they were doing, and I left the campus knowing that that was where I wanted to be.
So maybe this involvement, you've done so much, you're only a junior, you're a senior, but maybe to a freshman or someone who is currently at Quinnipiac who's watching this, maybe they're not involved quite yet, it may seem a little bit overwhelming to them. So how do you suggest that people start getting involved on campus?
Yeah, so when I started on campus, I had never touched a camera. I had never put together a show. I had never been on television. It was all foreign to me. So yeah, it seemed a little intimidating for me too, but everyone in student media is a super close-knit family, and the upperclassmen really take you under your wing. They don't let you do anything alone. They support you. It's not competitive. Everyone wants to see everyone succeed, and you learn way faster than you think you will, because they kind of throw you in the fire, but in a nice way. So they put you on camera, they push you outside your limits, and before you know it, you really know what you're doing really early on.
And going off of that, I know when I joined, my very first semester here, I did not do one thing by myself. I had someone come with me to press conferences, I had someone come with me to film. When I wrote my first stories, when I joined, someone was sitting next to me as I was writing my stories to help me figure out what I was going to say and how to transition. So when you get there, if you don't know how to do anything, that's great, because someone's going to be there to help you. They want to see you succeed because they want student media to succeed, so they'll be there for you.
So Quinnipiac, Yale, the game is tonight. As a student, what does the game mean to the Quinnipiac community from your perspective?
Well, our perspective might be a little different because I know every single Yale game I've ever gone to, I've worked, even when I go to Ingalls Arena over in New Haven. So it's been a little different for me, but I love it. I mean, I get to see all the fans out there cheering them on, rah-rahing as they are, and being up here, I get to do what I want to do, and I get to report in the game, and I don't know, it's exciting.
Right, just because we're not maybe decked out in our game day gold, the atmosphere is super electric, so that just motivates you even more. It makes you feel like you're part of something really important and really special to the Quinnipiac community. So to be able to be on the professional side of it is really fun.
Don't forget to join the conversation throughout the show. We encourage you. Submit your questions now in the comments section below, and your questions will be answered live on air by our guests, as well as by our team of Quinnipiac students and alumni in the Bobcat Social Media Lounge. So Sierra and Victoria, let's jump maybe away from student media, and let's talk about your favorite part of Quinnipiac, just maybe in general.
You want to go first?
Sure, my favorite part about Quinnipiac, honestly, my favorite part so far about Quinnipiac was when I did QU in LA.
Mm-hmm.
My internship was amazing, it was second to none, and I had great people out there teaching me. It's not really something you can do at a bunch of other schools, and I kind of like to be able to go out west, but I was scared to do it full time, so getting that little semester and that window in time where I got to do it was really cool.
Obviously, student media is probably my favorite, but other than that, I think really the professors in the School of Communications. There's not one that I've had a bad experience with. So just knowing that you have the support in the classroom, and it's not just that professor-student rigid relationship. They're all super welcoming and helpful, and so that has been really eased my transition into school.
Well, Victoria, Sierra, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me.
If you're interested in finding out more about Quinnipiac and exciting experiences that prepare you for your future career, then be sure to visit us during our next open house on Sunday, December 3rd. To register, visit qu.edu/open house. Winter is on its way, but our Bobcat prize pack is sure to keep you warm. This month's prize pack includes a Quinnipiac quilt and mug, perfect for those comfy nights relaxing by the fire, as well as a winter hat, a scarf, and 2 tickets to an upcoming Quinnipiac men's ice hockey game. Don't miss out on your opportunity to win. All you have to do is like this video to be entered into our drawing, and one lucky winner will be selected by the end of the show. Don't miss out as Quinnipiac takes on Yale tonight at 7 in the 16th Annual Heroes Hat Cup. The TD Bank Sports Center is sold out, but don't worry. We have a front row seat waiting for you. Watch tonight's matchup live on ESPN3 or listen on AM 1220 WQUN. And joining me right now are some folks that have been able to score some tickets to tonight's sold-out game. Welcome to the Amore family. John from the class of 1970, Monica from the class of 2004, Candace from the class of 2006, and Lisa from the class of 2011. Also joining them are Ryan and Ava. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys.
Thank you.
So this is 3 generations of family that has deep roots and is extremely connected to Quinnipiac. John, why don't you start it off? How did you become connected to Quinnipiac?
My dad attended Quinnipiac after the Second World War under the GI Bill, so I knew the school. I wanted to be a CPA, and this was the place to go.
So what was Quinnipiac like when you first started here?
Actually, I was the first class that started in Mount Carmel campus in 1966. It was new, it was small, but it was very nice. It was certainly an upgrade from the old campus on Whitney Avenue. Nothing like we have today, though.
So what was your student experience like when you were a student at Quinnipiac?
Well, I made a lot of friends. It was a turbulent time in the 60s, but it was nice being here, learning and making friendships, which I've maintained over the many years.
Candace, how about you? What was your experience like at Quinnipiac? And
at Quinnipiac. Some of my fondest memories were being involved in the clubs and organizations that they had here on campus. I made a lot of great friends, and I actually met my husband through being an orientation leader and a resident assistant. And Quinnipiac is so special to us that on our way to our wedding reception, we made a stop to the campus to take photos because we just love it here so much. And we now have 2 children, and we're hopeful that Quinnipiac will become just as significant to them as it has been to us.
Maybe class of 2036 and 2038, maybe right in front of us.
That's right.
And Elisa, talk about your experience starting from when you first came to Quinnipiac.
So I was worried to go to college because I didn't know anyone, and I was placed in ledges my freshman year, and fortunately the girls that I roomed with and on my hall were wonderful, and I really became close with them over the years, and they're actually my bridesmaids in my wedding next July.
So John, what is it like hearing your daughters tell the story of all the positive experiences they've had at Quinnipiac? What does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. Again, just starting back with my dad and all of them going to Quinnipiac, and Monica working at Quinnipiac. We have that bond, and we'll maintain that for the rest of our lives and maybe into the next generation.
So Monica, John just led into it. You have a job right here at Quinnipiac. Talk about your experience as a student.
Sure. So I actually I really had a good experience, and it was very positive. My dad spoke very highly when I was growing up of Quinnipiac, so I knew when I saw the campus that I, absolutely fell in love with it and wanted to go here. I was fortunate enough to get a position in the department I worked at as a student, and I've been here for 13 years. I've really enjoyed it. It still maintains that sense of community, and despite its growth, I started with 1 campus here when I was a student, and then it's grown to 3, and a lot of excitement, and still, again, that strong sense of community, so it's been great.
So Monica, you graduated in 2004. We didn't quite have the TD Bank Sports Center, which we're in right now. So what was athletics like when you were a student?
So I do remember going to hockey games. I remember it being very big and very active and sort of exciting on campus. Going to a smaller arena and then getting to see the campus grow, and now coming to the sports center here, it's really great to have something of our own and so exciting, and see all the students and faculty and all the fans here to cheer the Bobcats on.
And John, what was athletics like when you went to Quinnipiac?
Well, the rivalry was with New Haven College, University of New Haven now, and basketball would be in one of the high school gyms, and very quaint, but nothing like you have today, be it basketball or hockey.
So why do you choose to stay connected to Quinnipiac?
Well, to give something back. We all had great educations. I was able to make a nice living off of my education from Quinnipiac, so felt to give something back to the school in whatever way I could.
So how do you, looking down the line, your daughters went to Quinnipiac, your grandchildren may come to Quinnipiac. So Quinnipiac must hold a special place in your heart and in your family.
Yeah, it certainly does. And I think one of the things when we put the study cubicle in the library, this way other students can use it, know of our support for Quinnipiac, and they were able to use it. And I'm sure my parents, looking down from heaven, really appreciated that.
So let's talk about friendships. We talked about friendships with you, but John, maybe a friend in particular you might have met while you were at Quinnipiac.
Yeah, a very good friend of mine, Sal Polano, class of 67. I met him in November of 67 at the library, and we've maintained a friendship since then. We're godparents. Here's Monica's godfather, and we're in wedding parties together, and he works with me in my small CPA firm.
And do you attend many athletic events?
Yeah, a couple of times a year, come to hockey games. We went to basketball games, we enjoyed it.
What are your thoughts on the Quinnipiac-Yale hockey game?
It's kind of unbelievable to think in 1966, if you said Quinnipiac was going to be playing Yale, I don't think anybody would have believed you, but it's a big rivalry, and I'm just sorry they didn't win in the Frozen Four a few years ago, but at least they got there.
Any thoughts on the Quinnipiac-Yale hockey game tonight?
I actually try to make it every year, so I'm really excited, and definitely cheering on our Bobcats.
Yeah. Anything? The Quinnipiac-Yale hockey game? Excited? I think that's the general feeling going around the Sports Center right now. As the student section fills up behind us, Ryan and Ava, do you guys think you could tell me what your favorite part of Quinnipiac is?
Can you say boomer? Boomer.
Boomer?
Yeah.
Boomer is also my favorite part of Quinnipiac. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and have a happy holidays.
Thank you, you too.
Go Bobcats.
Go Bobcats. The holidays are upon us, which means it's Bobcat Nation's chance to get into the festive spirit with Festive Fridays. Beginning on the biggest shopping day of the year, Black Friday, and running until Friday, December 19th, don't miss out on your chance to complete festive challenges to win amazing prizes. For more information, follow the Quinnipiac University Facebook and Instagram pages. And you can see the student section filling up behind me. We follow junior Rachel Durand to see what it's like for a typical Quinnipiac student to get ready for one of our Quinnipiac hockey games. Here it is.
Hi, welcome. Come on in. We're gonna go get ready for the game, then I'll show you what I do. I bring a little bag. Sometimes it's got cough drops because I yell a lot. I grab water and I get my ticket, and that's my 3 main things that I bring to the game. I'm gonna meet my friends at the Bobcat. We usually do this, we rub the paw before we go into the game. It's just a good luck charm, and we're kind of superstitious like that. How are you doing today? Going to the game? Yeah, we are. We're hopefully gonna get a good win.
This is our first ECAC.
It is. It's gonna be a big game today.
Cornell always plays tough.
All right, good to see you too. Game day! Let's go! So stoked. All right, so we have to rub the paw because it's good luck. And our first ECAC game, it's game day, here we go. I'm gonna be scanning into the Quinnipiac Athletics mobile app. It has a rewards program, so if you go to a game, you can scan in with the QR code right here, and you could have lunch with Coach Fabry, you could get a free hat, free sweatshirt. It's an awesome program, and I just have a lot of points. We're walking through the enemy stretching. My favorite part is that the Teletubbies, they copy whatever the opponent does for warm-ups. So you get to watch our 4 hooligans do what they do, and who does it better, that's up for you to decide. I'm a little biased, our guys do it better. So now that we're all fueled up, I went and got my pretzel. I'm gonna get situated down in my seat and see how it goes.
Let's go, you! 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 Let's go, you!
Well, Bobcat fans, we fall hard and the energy in here was electric. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and see you next time.
Tickets may be sold out for tonight's game, but don't miss out on your chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming men's ice hockey game, all a part of our Bobcat prize pack. Also included is a Quinnipiac quilt, a hat, a scarf, and a mug. Time is running out. To enter, all you have to do is hit like on this video, and we'll select a lucky winner by the end of the show. And game time is quickly approaching. Quinnipiac takes on Yale tonight at 7 in the 16th annual Heroes Hat Cup. The TD Bank Sports Center is sold out, but don't worry. We have a front row seat waiting for you. Watch tonight's matchup live on ESPN3 or listen on AM 1220 WQUN. And I'm now joined by someone who has been here for all of our Quinnipiac versus Yale games, President John Leahy. Dr. Leahy, welcome.
Great, thanks. Great to be here.
So, Dr. Leahy, what do you look forward to most about this game each year?
Well, you know, the Yale Quinnipiac hockey game is at Quinnipiac is certainly the game. Down at Yale, they have another game. I guess that happened today, actually, the Harvard-Yale football game. But for a game that has national implications, which this game has had for the last 10 years, and of course we both went to play for the national championship 6 years ago. This is the most exciting game in Greater New Haven, and I think even some Yale people will tell you the Quinnipiac-Yale men's ice hockey game is the game.
Mm-hmm. So how does the growth of the Quinnipiac-Yale rivalry maybe relate to the growth of Quinnipiac?
Well, I think there's no question that when we entered the ECAC 10 years ago, and Yale was very supportive of us coming into the ECAC, the hockey program at Quinnipiac has just taken off. We just moved to that level. It was a great conference, and we started recruiting even better athletes, and we're almost instantly successful in that conference. And of course, we've been to two national championships in the last 6 years. We've been on national television, and the hockey team, along with our medical school, our polling institute, our law school. There's a lot of things we're nationally known for, but I would say in terms of national television coverage, nothing has given us the exposure of our men's hockey program.
So I'm sure someone out there must have a question for Dr. Leahy. Make sure to leave your questions in the comments section below so I can ask him live on air right now. Dr. Leahy, what are some of the traditions that stand out to you in over 30 years as president of Quinnipiac?
Oh, there are a lot, and certainly athletics. There are a lot of big games that we play, a lot of local rivalries. Certainly in basketball, we have some great rivalries with Fairfield in this state. I've mentioned the hockey already. The women's basketball, team getting to the Sweet 16 this past year, you know, and playing Miami and Marquette down in Miami, and you know, the students coming out for this game, you know, the Beat Yale T-shirts that are sold all over campus, you know, and we're adding some new traditions. You're wearing one of them. I think this plaid with the Q is going to be one of the great traditions at Quinnipiac. You know, I was just with the Quinnipiac Legends, our a cappella group that performs every year and is a, you know, a source of great pride, and a theater program. You know, there are a lot of things at Quinnipiac that now are recurring each and every year, and this building, it's been up just 10 years now, and I think some great wins here, some great memories, and some conference championships that are hanging all over both the basketball side and the hockey side. So there are plenty of great memories, and I think there'll be plenty more in the years ahead.
So that actually leads great into my next question. This building opened in 2007. How have athletics and the traditions of Boomer the Bobcat evolved over your time here?
Well, again, we started the Bobcats about 15 years ago, just before we entered Division I. So we were the Braves back then. So it took a long time. Alumni were pretty set with the Braves, and change is always difficult. So we spent a whole year trying to come up with an alternative. And to tell you the truth, it was probably the longest year of my 31 years here, because the longer we were into it, the more Brave sounded like the right term. But you know, because it was a Native American imagery, and the NCAA and universities in general, you know, felt that it was discriminatory and really reinforcing negative images. Even though we were named for the Quinnipiac Indians, we felt it was important to get an alternative. And Bobcats, as it turns out, was terrific. First of all, it's an animal that's pound for pound one of the toughest anywhere. It's also indigenous to Connecticut. And the other thing it did, you know, it satisfied not only having a new name, but an obvious mascot. And Boomer the Bobcat was formed. And I must say, it's looking back 10 years, people will now say, of course we're the Bobcats. But I can tell you, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, it wasn't an obvious choice, but I think it's worked out very well for us.
So not only would you find Boomer the Bobcat in the TD Bank Sports Center, but you might also find him in our new soccer, lacrosse, and field hockey fields on the Mount Carmel campus. So how do these new facilities set Quinnipiac apart?
Well, I tell you, when you look at lacrosse and soccer, the facilities that we have with our new fields, first of all, the surface is the first-rate surface for both of those sports. The locker rooms, the 1,500 seats and whatever, for those sports in particular, those are among the best you'll find in any college or university in America. And then the field hockey field as well. And of course, our field hockey team has been one of our most successful. I think it won our first NCAA championship under Becca, Maine, and Coley when we first went to Division I. And they have their own field now with their own seating. And of course, they've moved into the Big East. So when you have the ECAC for our hockey programs, you have a field hockey playing in the Big East. You know, again, it adds tremendously to the exposure the university has, and the great universities, and increasingly the better university academically they're competing against. So I think the addition of those two fields were a tremendous boost to, you know, and it benefited 5 sports in all, and then it also freed up a field, a natural grass field, for our rugby program, which has also won 2 national championships. So it really benefited 6 sports in all.
So people are filing into the arena right now. The atmosphere is picking up. The Bobcats just took the ice. The student section is filling up. And something in your time as president you focused on is community. So how do nights like this exemplify the Quinnipiac community?
Yeah, again, you know, it does bring together the entire community. The students are just wild at this game, and it's the sellout crowd that we've always had. And the other thing that's, for me, very personable and touching about it is we also give the hero's hat at the end of our competition with Yale. And that's the hat of, you know, Joe Muscali, who was a fireman, one of the heroes of 9/11. And he was a fireman, unfortunately. He gave his life trying to save other people's lives. His 2 children were at Quinnipiac. You know, Jen, his oldest daughter, was just starting her senior year. Chris, his second child, was just starting his freshman year. They both, you know, lost their dad, and so the Muscali family have become such a part of the Quinnipiac family as well. So this is not only the good times that we remember with the excitement of a great sporting event, but we also remember some of the suffering and of our students and how this university community, I think, really figuratively and literally put their arms around the Miscali family and help that family and their dear mom Lori, who has become very close. So it's very much a community event on a lot of levels here this evening.
So what do you think about the student experience that students have when they come to the Yale game? You mentioned the Beat Yale posters that are given out at the front. Students got free T-shirts when they went into the student section. What do you think about all the fanfare that surrounds this night?
Yeah, no, it's it's palpable. There's not much you have to say. You can just heard the noise when the players came out. I can, if I'm not right at the rink and I hear the roar, I know it's a Quinnipiac goal. So, I mean, it's really electric. As I said, it's not only great hockey at the best. This game always has national implications because both Yale and Quinnipiac are playing at the highest level. They're two of the elite programs. Quinnipiac has been the best program, the most wins in the last 5 years, and in the last 10 years we've been among the best programs in the country. 2 Frozen Fours, national championship games in 6 years. So it's just a huge sporting event, the likes of what Greater New Haven really doesn't see at any other evening.
And the women's rugby team here at Quinnipiac is going for a three-peat for their 3rd national championship. What is that also tied, with the Yale game, a big weekend here at Quinnipiac? What does that mean?
No, again, I think it's just part of, as you were alluding to earlier, the growth and development of Quinnipiac. It's not, we've gone over 30 years from a small local college to a major national university, and it's not just one thing. It may have been the pole initially, and maybe the medicals, maybe the hockey program, the rugby program, the women's at the Sweet 16, the law school. I mean, we're getting known for so many things at Quinnipiac on a national basis. So I wouldn't say we're hitting on all 8 cylinders, but we're hitting on quite a few more. And as I look back 30 years ago, I earlier used to say, Quinnipiac's one of the best kept secrets in higher education. That's no longer true. I think we'll be even better known in the years ahead, but there's a lot of nationally, high quality, excellent things going on all across this university, and tonight is certainly one of them.
Speaking of national attention, you can tune into ESPN3 to watch tonight's game, Quinnipiac men's ice hockey versus Yale at 7 p.m. But let's stay with the national stage. 1998, the transition to D1 athletics, that's really what brought us there.
Right. Oh yeah, no, there's no question. And I knew we wanted to move to Division I athletics when I came here, actually. So it took 10 years because I wanted to first build up the academic portion of the institution. Sports are terrific for getting school spirit going, but also being a vehicle for getting your name known out there. But you want to make sure you're known for your academic program first and foremost. So I spent 10 years really building up the faculty and the academic side, and then it was the right time for us to make the change. And when I recruited Jack McDonald from Denver, we hadn't announced yet we were doing, but I was recruiting an athletic director who knew how to take a school from Division II to Division I, and it's just been tremendous over the past 19 or 20 years to see how quickly we've succeeded at the Division I level. Obviously, nothing compares with the national success of the ice hockey program, the women's basketball program this past year. Nothing compares with that. And then rugby again, winning 2 national championships, and as you said, playing for a 3rd. So I'm not surprised, but it's a lot of national things, big time successful things happening all over in many areas of the institution.
Last night the men's ice hockey team won 5-0 over Brown, so that maybe speaks to the caliber of the program we have here.
Well, it's been a challenging year for Rand. I was with him in New York on Thursday with some alums from the hockey program. We're going to raise some money down in the Wall Street area. We have some successful former hockey players who are in Wall Street making a lot of money even at a young age. So we're going to raise some money to do a renovation of the locker rooms, which are 10 years old now. It's a new weight room. So we need a few new things to make sure we maintain our hockey program at the highest level. And I know Rand was struggling a little bit, so I didn't see last night's games because I was still in New York, but I'm delighted that we're hitting on all cylinders, offense, defense, and goalies, and to beat them 5-0, they're a pretty tough team, Brown, so I think we have some good momentum coming into this game. Hopefully we'll continue against Yale.
And so as we know, you'll be retiring at the end of the academic year. What will you miss most about Quinnipiac?
Well, mostly the people. You know, first and foremost the students. I love Quinnipiac students. They're just the best. I love the alumni that we have now. They were former students, but now we have 30 years. 3/4 of the living alumni, 30,000 out of 40,000, graduated since I've been president here. I've literally signed each and every one of their diplomas. So I will truly miss nights like tonight and being with the students. And but you know, the other people who are here, obviously faculty, administrators, and staff that I've worked with during those 30 years. And a lot of the success, you know, presidents get more credit than they deserve. A lot of us, that's because we've had a senior management team and deans and others who have been here equally as long as I have. You know, we've had people like Pat Healy, who's here 30 years, he just retired, and Joan Isaac Moore, who's been here 25 years, who will be retiring with me. So a lot of good people I've worked with, and I certainly will. I've enjoyed every day of those 31 years, and I will certainly miss mostly the people that make up the Quinnipiac community that have been such an important part, a special part of my life for these past 31 years.
Well, I'll miss you, President Leahy. I don't graduate till 2019, but we still have some time left together. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me.
The puck is about to drop. Don't miss out as Quinnipiac takes on Yale tonight at 7 in the 16th Annual Heroes Hat Cup. The TD Bank Sports Center is sold out, but don't worry. We have a front row seat waiting for you. Watch tonight's matchup live on ESPN3 or listen on AM 1220 WQUN. And before we leave you, we've drawn a name from all the likes on the video, and our lucky winner of the Bobcat prize pack is Jessica Wright. Congratulations, Jessica. We're moments away from the 16th Annual Heroes Hat Cup as Quinnipiac takes on Yale. Tune in to ESPN3 now to watch the game live. That's all the time we have for our show this evening. Thank you for watching, and go Bobcats.